Have any of you guys ever heard the song Lost Ones by Jay-Z? You might be thinking, what are you talking about, Lone? What are you talking about now? Well, this is a song that starts off with the phrase, "This ain't a diss song, it's just a real song." And I start this video to say, Dokkan Battle, this ain't a diss song. I'm just being real. Do you play your own game? And to you, if you're watching this, please tell me, do you think Dokkan plays their game? And the reason I ask this is because I kind of just don't really know what Dokkan has in mind. Like, I don't know, 80% of the time. So if you guys didn't spot the recent data download, you know, we got this character coming in about a day and a few hours, or I guess less than a day now. So that's pretty cool. But they're a character that doesn't stack. They don't stack anywhere. They build up essentially, and if you're someone who's newer, like, I'm gonna say I have this character rainbowed, you know what I mean? Like, so this is less of a problem for me. You know, this character's gonna be pretty good for me. This character was on this banner. I think I pulled a ton of this character on this banner, and I think that was it. I think I pulled on this banner during the worldwide download celebration on global, if they were there. I can't remember, but I rainbowed them on that banner. I never pulled Future Trunks. I didn't pull him until after. So yeah, like, this character's rainbowed for me, so his damage is gonna be pretty good, right? Their damage is gonna be pretty good. Not really gonna be a problem there, but I start this off by saying this ain't a diss song, it's just a real song, because I really don't want this to come off as the complaining Dokkan video, right? This is not the boo Dokkan sucks video, but like, what do they want certain characters to do? You know what I mean? Because this character doesn't go slot 1 in the hardest red zone fight, which is the blue Goku fight, I'd say. You could say he couldn't do it in the Jiren fight, I think, right? I don't think the Jiren fight has... Does it have a late stage dodge canceling? I believe it's the Goku. And then it is... Oh, no, sorry. It's the Goku, and then it is here. All right? Yeah, they don't have dodge canceling, but I mean, and this is just me, I don't think this is the same level of difficulty as Blue Goku. I think this is, maybe, if you wanted to say, is the same difficulty as maybe Blue Vegeta. Blue Vegeta, you can also dodge, you know, surprise, surprise. If you can dodge, the fight gets much easier. But it's not always the case, you know, I'll say that, because we can then take a trip over to, you know, Battle Hard and Formidable Foes, which is right here. And hey, you can dodge you can dodge Cell Max, but he could just obliterate your other characters. But Jiren can't. So it's very different. Very, very different. So they gave them like this piddly damage reduction here and damage reduction here. And they do get up to pretty reasonable numbers. I think Halvard had the calcs at around like 2 point something million, 3 million after attacking. But if they're a character whose best linking partner is going to be hit, and you're probably going to be using them down here with this guy, then why wouldn't you make him a slot 1? Right? Am I tripping? Again, this ain't a diss song, it's just a real song. Does Dokkan play the game that they make? Does anyone here think that Dokkan plays the game that they make? Because I just kind of don't get the feeling that they do. Because a character that doesn't... Okay, so like, you could say, okay, well, maybe they're made for Festival Battles. And it's like, well, they don't stack. And if you're playing Festival Battles, why not just bring a character who stacks? Alright. So they were made for just Jiren and just Blue Vegeta? Or just Blue Vegeta? And I guess... I guess. But that seems rather limited. And I have to imagine that someone at the Dokkan offices does know that Blue Goku is probably the hardest non Festival of Battles fight, at least in theory. But if they do, I'm okay. Because, like, I've been using this character a lot, and this character also just dies to Blue Goku a lot. Because he evades. And so you could say that, well, at least he stacks, so he's for Festival Battles. Sure. But this character also kind of just dies to Blue Goku a lot because he evades. And I think you're kind of getting where I'm going with this. It's, you know, full transparency. It's not like Dokkan has been the most hype thing after the anniversary. Like, I think they've struggled to maintain the level of enjoyment people had going into the 10th, and especially during the 10th. I mean, you cannot take away the fact that they gave out a free gacha ticket that gave you a version of any of the anniversary units or a unit you might not have had. You can't take that away from them. But the balancing decisions, the kit design, the parts that matter are super odd, right? Like, we need people to go in these slots. You can't just release, you know, you can't just release, like, characters who go in slot 2 and 3, but the only other fight that is, like, super difficult that you'd actually want to, like, test against, that you'd actually want to, like, punch in the sandbox is like a dodge canceling fight. At some point, it has to be a different kind of fight or a different kind of character kit, right? So let's be generous. Maybe, you know, maybe Dokkan is planning to release a very difficult fight with dodge available, because we do know that they released a Majin Buu Saga Red Zone during last year's Golden Week. And, you know, I guess, but at this point, didn't we have, like, these at least released, right? Am I crazy? Like, so they haven't really shown us the intention to even release another Red Zone. Not to mention the last Red Zone we got was a waste of time. Like, this was just stones, which, I mean, you can never complain about free stones, but, like, this isn't even really like anything. And most of the time I see characters like be talked about like this, they just say, well, we're gonna run them on the Vegito team. And it's like, yeah, you know, I get that, but like, at some point it has to stop being the Vegito team, right? Like, it can't always be the Vegito team. Sometimes it has to be other fun teams we can run. But we're sort of in this standstill where people just keep saying the thing, well, the anniversary characters are always the strongest. And it's like, yeah, they can be the strongest, but like, I want to use other characters too, no? Is that not a part of like the fun of, you know, the quote-unquote team building of this game? If every single time I'm just sort of left wondering why I'm not using the anniversary characters, you know, I'm kind of looking around like, why am I logging on? It just, I really do kind of get like a weird sense of like fulfillment thinking about how interesting Daima Vegeta is, because he's one of the certified only slot 1s that has released all year. And when he released, I said, oh, he's actually pretty good in slot 1. And there was a lot of backlash there. You know, the community doesn't really like this guy. And I get it. He doesn't really do damage, but he is actually a slot 1, right? Like, he works. So why are we not at all padding out other teams with that same treatment, Dokkan? Like, we're getting to a point where, you know, we do kind of need characters to fill out these teams. Otherwise, and I'm gonna flip back to English here. Otherwise, like, every single accelerated battle team just becomes the same team. There's just not enough slot 1 options to go around. and there's not enough slot 1 options to go around because Dokkan decided to make the hardest red zone fight dodge canceling, and then forgot that you need to then make the like characters to help, you know, stiffen out some of these teams. This shit's looking kind of loosey goosey, nah? Like, I don't know. Maybe this is me. I guess I just wanted to make. I know this video is a little rambly, a little like kind of unfocused, but like I thought that coming out of the tournament participants celebration, we'd sort of see like a nice, consistent, just like boom, shows up, takes damage character for Golden Week. And the reason I thought that was because last year's Golden Week was that where you could take the Boo Saga characters, and you know they were just like really powerful. So you know, Int Boo definitely was more you know, catchable, but he had his revive. However, like this is like a defensive stacking character who also guards above 50%, right? Like, and then when he revives or an ally revives, he gets all guard and is regenerating. So even though he wasn't like a slot 1, you could put him slot 1 sometimes and just pop his revive, and then you functionally got the use of a safety net, you know? And then this character was a definitive slot 1 who, as the fight went on, he built up his passive and fell out of the slot 1 position, right? So I don't really know why instead of that we sort of just got more of PyCon. Like, I really feel like the Golden Week characters this year are super fragile, but I don't see people talking about it. Obviously Hit is good, especially in Festival Battles, but they aren't building all of the characters for Festival Battles. I would say they're building less than half of the characters for Festival Battles. If we just like flatly, this isn't me. I'm not saying like, oh, Festival Battle's bad right now. I'm saying that if you look at this screen, the majority of characters here are not being built for Festival Battles. Everyone kept saying that they were going to build them for Festival Battles, but if you actually look at the release dates of these characters and you just go down the list, I mean, okay, here's Festival Battles right here, Festival Battles right here, not, yes, oh no, that's not Vegito, but yeah, not, yes, not, yes, like, and then we're like back to this. And I would say that this Goku's not built for Festival Battles. Glorio can kind of do it, but I mean, a character who needs to be floated in Festival Battles is going to run into the obvious issue of just getting his stacks. So I will say that Glorio is not really built for Festival Battles, but you could definitely bring him in. So like this whole like Festival of Battles dialogue, this building characters, it doesn't really make sense because they're not building the majority of characters for it. They seem to be building a majority of the characters for the red zone still. They are. We can see that. It is observable. This isn't cap. It's simply a fact that this is observable. You could say, well, okay, they're building for battle-hardened formidable foes. I kind of still consider that in the like meta of like red zone, but because, you know, they're just like the shorter form fights, essentially, the more standardized content. That's what these characters are being built for. And if that's the case, I just don't get why, since AGL Cell, every character here is AGL Cell, essentially. There has to be someone at Dokkan who's the only person making units, right? Why is no one different? Please stop putting dodge on these characters, or release a fight where dodge is re-enabled, and hey, we get some AoEs, we get a super hard hitting super that you need to dodge. It needs to be an event shift, or it needs to be a character shift, but it has to be one, because we cannot keep sitting here and going into Blue Goku with 2 rotations at all that we can run. Like, Dokkan, please. Because, like, I've been playing for a long time. And, you know, years. I've been playing for 3-4 years at this point. And, like, I have more of these characters. But, like, if you're new, your slot 1 looks like shit. Can I just say that? Like, your slot 1 probably looks fucking terrible if you're new. Because these characters are not doing it for you, right? You need this guy. These two, I saw people putting these two on like a tier list, like higher than like some of the newer characters. And it's like, where are you even running these guys? Giant Ape Power doesn't fucking exist. You can't just quietly be like, wow, they're so good, they have no teams. Like, and Giant Ape Power's problem is one of its rotations has a terrible slot 1. His name's Int Forku, right? So it's like, where are you putting these characters? I just don't get it. Gotenks is still fine. But it's like, okay, so it's him, Gotenks, the 7 years, and Beast Gohan, and I guess Tech Broly. And actually, this guy's good. This guy's good too. Let's give props to Perfect Cell. This guy's also at competent slot 1 when he gets his orbs. And that's kind of not enough. A lot of those characters are old. So a few of those characters that I just mentioned are like aged. You know what I mean? Broly's taking damage now. Beast Gohan's taking damage now. Also, a lot of those characters I just mentioned are Saiyans, which doesn't do the best for links or diversity, character variety. Your characters in slot 2 are way down at that point. Also, and here's just the last point, you hear me say all that and be like, well, that's plenty of slot 1s. That's more slot 1s than we ever have. Sure, Hit dies in slot 2 to Blue Goku. How can Goku dies in slot 2 to Blue Goku? Like, it's not even like they're safe, because they have to dodge. And dodge is disabled, and they're not building these characters with that in mind. So I don't know what they're building them for. With all that being said, though, like if you like the video, subscribe to the club, we all go make it, and peace.